What if I told you some stories you need to hear to believe?
It was the rivalry of the hammer and the nail, and Boston was the nail.
You would hear Yankee suck at a funeral, Yankee suck at a football game.
The second we said Yankee suck t-shirts, people just crowded around us and bought them as fast as we could sell them.
The all-new 30 for 30 podcast. Subscribe now on the ESPN app or Apple Podcasts.
30 for 30 podcast is presented by Mini. We're finding the best sports stories for you right now. And to do that, we're behind the wheel of the new Mini Countryman, the biggest Mini yet.
Please proceed to the highlighted route.
To find great sports stories, you have to get out into the world and follow your instincts. That's where the new Mini Countryman's all-wheel drive comes in handy. With all four, we can chase down a story in the city, the country, and most places in between. No matter what story you're chasing, the new Mini Countryman will help you find it. It's available now, and so are 30 for 30 podcasts.
This is the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
I'm Stephen A. Hour number 2 of the Stephen A. Smith Show, here with you for the next hour over the airways of ESPN Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 80. Number to call up as always is 866-729-ESPN. That's 866-729-3776. See, when you hear me annoyed by the previous caller, Al in Brooklyn, it's not about Al personally. I don't know Al. I don't have anything against him. I appreciate him when he calls the show. It's the fact that too many of us, particularly in the black community, are too quick to jump on race. Save it for when it counts. For when it really, really, really is substantive. For when it really, really matters. And more importantly, when it's really, really right. OJ Simpson was not televised after being indicted because he's black. It was because he's OJ. I'm not trying to imitate Jay-Z or whatever. I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay. On his new album. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, he was OJ Simpson. One of the most recognizable, iconic sports figures in this nation's history. If Tom Brady were indicted on double murder charges today, that wouldn't be televised. What if it were Peyton Manning? What if it were Brett Favre? It wouldn't be televised. We wouldn't be transfixed on it on CNN. It would just be a cliff note or something. Stop. Just stop it. Every damn thing ain't about race. Not everything. And why I'm so bothered by it, what aggravates me about it is that we do have a lot of problems. And we do have a lot of troubles. But that dilutes our points. Because when you're quick to bring it up about anything, who the hell should listen to you when you got a real problem? Your credibility is squashed because you brought race up with everything. Just stop it. I start the show off today talking about 58 dead, 515 people injured, mass shooting, largest in American history. You think this guy, Stephen Paddock, on the 32nd floor of Mandalay Bay was sitting up there and said, let me just make sure I shoot the black person over here and the Latino person over here. He fired more than 100 bullets. This sick, demented SOB. I shouldn't say, just the sick, demented B. Because I'm not trying to talk about his mom. I apologize for that. That's not my intention. I don't want to go Donald Trump here. My point is, the sick, demented individual that he wasn't discriminating. And you call up here today, hours after a person clearly guilty of double murder, even though he got acquitted, because it was a trial against the LAPD, not against him. He's out in the streets. And he should have been, because the robbery was a bogus sentence. He shouldn't have been sentenced to 33 years for that to begin with. He should have been under the jail for the rest of his life and not having received a death penalty for killing Nicole Brown System and Ronald Goldman. That's why he should have been in jail for the rest of his life, not for this crime. But that's what's going on. And we're going to call up here and defend him and talk about race. And yes, there are more things that's going on. Yes, people have been victimized. Yes, we've got issues in this country that we have to address. We got to come together. We got to stop this. I don't like brutality on the police or on the part of some police officers more than anybody else. But I know a couple of things. Number one, I get in trouble, I'm dialing 911. So obviously I don't believe all of them are bad. And number two, and more importantly, don't tell me that I got more to fear about police officers than about sickos like this dude in Vegas or the Orlando nightclub. Or individuals with terroristic tendencies because of the times that we're living in. Don't tell me that I gotta worry about more about police officers than about them. And don't tell me some folks in the streets of certain parts of Chicago don't have our own to be worried about more than police officers. Check the numbers out. If we gonna be real about it. 866-729-ESPN. It's 866-729-3776. On a side note, Yankees got a wild card game coming up against the Minnesota Twins. It's a rough transition, but damn it, I'm making it. Irvin Santana versus Severino, 1-game playoff. You got Judge, you got Gary Sanchez and these boys. Remember, Santana hasn't had the greatest record in the world against these guys. Matter of fact, Twins haven't really won anything against the Yankees in terms of postseason in quite a while. Yankees won the season series 4-2, swept Minnesota over a 3-game set at Yankee Stadium last month. And by the way, the Yankees have won 9 straight playoff games against the Minnesota Twins and 12 of 14 dating back to 2003. So the odds are in their favor in that regard. And then as it pertains specifically to Irvin Santana, he only faced him once this year, pitched 5 2/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, 2 runs, gave up a homer to Aaron Judge early in the game. Yankees should win this game. I just detest the fact that you can go through 162 games in a 1-game playoff. They should all be at least the best 2 or 3. I mean, come on. 1 game, anybody can win 1 game. Anybody. You can have an off night. Irvin Santana might eat some White Castle before the game, and the next thing you know, he passing gas and got a stomach virus or something. Not that I'm sitting there saying that White Castle does such things. Not to everybody. I know I love it. But everybody ain't me. Aaron Judge, yeah, he's a homer making it happen. He's also a strikeout waiting to happen. Gary Sanchez led the league in passed balls. You want to play small ball and you steal bases, Gary Sanchez is the dude to do it against. So I'm concerned about that. And boy, I can't wait for the Dodgers to get started. I can't wait. I cannot wait. All this talk about the Dodgers, kind of year they had before they went in that humongous slump. Got the best pitcher in baseball in Kershaw. Got Bellinger and the crew ready to roll. Please. You better do something this postseason. You better do something. 866-729-ESPN. It's 866-729-3776. 866-SAY-ESPN. Back to your calls and the huge $205 million contract extension Russell Westbrook signed. What does that mean for the NBA? What does it mean for the Lakers? Stay tuned. Stick around. Don't touch that dial. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio.
Okay, Kevin, for the grand prize of $1 million, What color is the White House?
I know this.
5 seconds.
Oh, switching to Geico could save you a bunch of money on car insurance?
Okay. Judges? That's true, Kevin. They'll allow it. Congratulations. You're a winner.
Woo! Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Just looking at some of these Major League Baseball standings, the Dodgers finished 104-58. Remember when they were on pace to win 116 games? 12 games lower than expected. At least at the time they were flowing. Oh, well. 866-729-ESPN. That's 866-729-3776. Before I get to the phones, congratulations to Russell Westbrook. 5 years, $205 million extension. It's been on the table. Congratulations to Sam Presti, general manager for the Oklahoma City Thunder. There's an organization that lost James Harden in the past, Reggie Jackson in the past, Serge Ibaka in the past, and then ultimately Kevin Durant. Held on to Russell Westbrook. He deserves every penny, because he never cheats us. He comes to the arena ready to display max effort and go at it every single night. Russell Westbrook is a superstar talent, man. What an assassin. Got no heart for anybody when he's going up against him. Give him props and credit and respect where it's due. He deserves every penny. And if there was a person to make this investment in, it's him. And from what I'm told, he has no trade clause. No trade clause in his contract. No opt-out. He's committed. It appears. If that's true, what a commitment. And he did it on Kevin Durant's birthday. Y'all think that's a coincidence all you want to. Waited until Kevin Durant's birthday to sign the extension. He basically said, "You wuss. I had the courage to stay and embrace the challenge rather than run from it." That's basically what he's saying. I'm not calling Kevin Durant that. I'm saying that's what Russell Westbrook essentially was saying by choosing his birthday to sign the extension. Nevertheless, here's what it comes down to. It's great for the NBA because OKC is a small market franchise. And their willingness and ability to pay these kind of dollars displays the parity that former Commissioner David Stern and now present Commissioner Adam Silver was aiming for. It's huge. Huge for the NBA. It's huge for the Oklahoma City Thunder. It may be epically bad news for the Los Angeles Lakers. They still got a chance because, remember, Los Angeles wasn't expecting. They were hopeful that if not LeBron, they could get a Russell Westbrook, assuming he'd want to come to L.A. But here's the reality. Magic Johnson and those boys, they sweating now. Because Oklahoma City firmly believes it has a legitimate shot at keeping Paul George, especially now that Russell Westbrook is signed. And if you keep Paul George, why wouldn't Melo stay? Why wouldn't he? That's what you got going on here. So you got to look at it from that standpoint. And if you're the Los Angeles Lakers and Oklahoma City has a chance of keeping Paul George and ultimately Melo will stay, not only do you lose out on Paul George, why would LeBron come? Why would he do that? Unless suddenly Lonzo Ball goes out there today as a rookie and looks like a superstar, why would a superstar come to this squad? Things are very, very interesting right now. And I said this on TV the other day, and I'll say it again. The biggest loser in Carmelo Anthony electing to go to OKC is Chris Paul, who I love and respect dearly. Let me tell you something. Chris Paul passed up over $200 million to stay in Los Angeles. Didn't want to play for Doc Rivers anymore. Left to go to Houston. But believed that when he left for Houston, that Melo was coming. So you're 32 years of age. You're a 6-foot point guard. You're not getting any younger. You've got injuries in your past. And you pass up $200 million. Because the belief is if I come to Houston, a no-state income tax state, by the way. So that means the money goes further. But if I go to Houston, all right, and Melo comes, we got the best chance of both of us getting paid because we're going to get to the conference finals. And you left L.A. thinking you're going to be in a better situation than Houston. And even though you got James Harden, who is a superstar, here's the problem. Houston went from acquiring Chris Paul and being destined as the number 2 seed in the Western Conference to Melo going to OKC. And now Houston might not even be in the top 4 or 5. You got Golden State. You got San Antonio. You got OKC. And not necessarily in that order. It might be OKC number 2. San Antonio number 3. That's a given. Then you got Memphis and the Clippers to deal with if you're Houston. Yes, the Clippers. Because you still got Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. So what are you going to do if all you got is Harden and CP3? Just something to think about, y'all. Just something to think about. Eric in Massachusetts, you're live with Stephen A. Talk to me.
Stephen A., how you doing, sir?
I'm all right. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about the Giants. Stephen A., what are they going to do? It's looking like it's over so far. It looks like they're going to have a bad season.
Well, they're 0-4. Could they resurrect themselves? The only team that have done that was San Diego in 1992 when they were the San Diego Chargers instead of the Los Angeles Chargers. They started out 0-4, and they ended up winning 10 of their last 11 games and making it to the playoffs.
It's like I don't know, Stephen A. And that offensive line, that dude Eric Flowers, I don't know. He's god awful. He's god awful. Yeah, he's terrible.
He might get Jerry Reese fired.
Yeah.
Because he's that bad. He's that bad. But listen, yesterday he wasn't the story. They didn't give up any sacks, and they didn't turn the ball over.
Did all right yesterday. They just couldn't pull it out. It was a close game. But another thing I wanted to talk about, Stephen A. Oklahoma City. I don't know. They might. I don't know. You think they got a chance to get to the finals this year, Stephen A?
No, they got a chance, but I would still put the Warriors as the favorites. But I've got the Warriors meeting OKC in the Western Conference Finals. That's my belief.
Definitely.
I wouldn't say definitely because San Diego could have something to say about it, but I would give the Warriors. I would give the OKC Thunder the edge.
Yeah, definitely. I know. The whole temper tantrum thing with Antonio Brown, Stephen A., I don't think, it's a big deal. It's just emotion. You need that on your team. He's a competitor.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal not because of his emotion. It's a big deal as to why. Normally, you wouldn't see somebody like that reacting to a future Hall of Fame quarterback. But he's clearly displeased with Big Ben Roethlisberger. And I think a few people are because Big Ben has not been himself. He's looked like a shell of himself. He came into the season wondering and questioning if he even wanted to play anymore because the twilight of his career has arrived. He's taken an exorbitant amount of punishment throughout the years because he's Big Ben. And as a result, the will to play has dissipated to some degree. He's got a wife. He's got kids. His whole mentality has changed. And I think you're seeing it in his play, which is why it's problematic for somebody like Antonio Brown, who's all in, just got his money, wants to validate it, and wants to maximize this opportunity in his career as quick as he possibly can to get paid and to do what he's got to do. Wide receivers are prima donnas anyway. But if you're Antonio Brown and you've been bringing attention to yourself because of your play, what you could do out on the football field, to how you dressed and when you FaceTime and stuff and Facebook Live and stuff and all of this, and your quarterback don't get you the ball wide open where you could do one of those end zone dances and all of that other stuff, you got yourself a problem. And that's what he's dealing with, and that's why it's problematic for him right now. Thank you for the call. Chris in L.A., talk to me. You're live with Stephen A.
Hey, Stephen A. First off, I want to send my thoughts and prayers to the people out in Vegas.
Thank you.
I know I listened to you at the top of the show, and I just know that it was tough for you to start it that way, but it was it deserved his attention and what you brought to it. So let me jump into sports. As far as the whole Westbrook extension thing, yes, I mean, I was hurt myself when he signed it because I believe he would be a Laker after this year. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen, but big ups and props to the Thunder's organization being a small market, meaning that all those players you alluded to that they lost, they were able to keep Westbrook, give him that money. And from what you're saying, that you believe that they're in a position now where they can keep Paul George and keep Carmelo. So big ups to them for that. But I have to disagree with you as far as what you putting, I believe you said Memphis and the Clippers ahead of Houston. I don't see that. in this upcoming season. For sure, not the Clippers, but Memphis maybe. That's a toss-up, but not the Clippers. And to that, you say what?
Well, listen. In terms of what, do I see the Clippers advancing to the conference finals?
No, not at all. No, I know you don't see that, but putting them ahead of Houston, no.
Well, listen. What I'm saying to you is this: if you got CP3 and Harden, they're no joke. But what else do you have in Houston?
I agree, but what do you really have in Los Angeles, though? Out here,
well, again,
Stephen A,
you have Blake Griffin, you have DeAndre Jordan, you've got size, you've got defense, you've got shot blocking capability. Now in Houston, you've got scoring, in abundance with James Harden and CP3 running the show. So I'm not saying that you would put the Clippers ahead of Houston. I'm saying you're battling with the Clippers and Memphis for the 4th spot in the West. That's what I'm saying. And by the way, when you think about Memphis being the steady hand that they are, where do they ever go? They're just steady, man. That's just who they are. They find a way to be there and to be relevant. They're not going to win a championship, but they're going to be relevant and respectable. Yes, they are.
Yes, sir. I agree with that, Stephen A.
All right.
I agree.
All right, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. 866-729-ESPN. That's 866-729-3776. More of your calls in a minute. Talking NFL Sunday, Week 4. Talking Las Vegas. Talking Russell Westbrook's contract. OJ Simpson. Somebody's on the phone wanting to talk to me about the Dolphins. I don't know why they're asking for that kind of a soliloquy from me. You know who the Dolphins quarterback is. It's Jay Cutler. What the hell you expect me to say? But you can stick around and find out. This is Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio.
Guess what? You're in the middle of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Damn it, I mean it!
Let's get to Lucas in Florida. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Lucas? Talk to me.
Stephen A. Smith.
Your signal's bad, Lucas. Are you standing still? Lucas, we lost you. Call back, man. I'll put you back on. Jordan, you're live with Stephen A. Talk to me.
Hey, Stephen A., can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
How you doing, brother?
Now you need to speak up. Don't try to sound smooth like Barry White. A national audience is listening to you, and we can barely hear you. Speak up, bro.
Okay. I'm sorry. I want to give my condolences to the people in Las Vegas. It's really tragic that that's happened. I didn't know the number was 58. I thought it was still at like 20.
It's 58.
That's really heartbreaking. Kind of reminds me of a story I heard last week about a guy in 1978 who murdered all the people by suicide in South America. So, yeah,
yes, sir.
That's really messed up.
Yeah.
This past weekend was good. Last weekend, that Bears, it was bad Steelers, not good Bears, because the Steelers' defense wasn't on point. They rectified this week. They had a really good game. Then the Bears came back and stunk it up with the Packers. That was a really interesting game with the Cowboys and the Rams. I really enjoyed that. Todd Gurley is going to be amazing in his time to come. So I was really excited about this football weekend. That's a pretty good game, John. What you think?
Well, listen, I like Todd Gurley. I think he's really the face of the Rams offense. I can tell you that much. I think he's more the face of the offense than Goff, but Goff is balling right now. So I'll give props where props is due. I can tell you that. Here's my thing. Let me switch back to New York for a second here. The New York Jets rushed for 256 yards. Bilal Powell had that 75-yard run when they thought he was down. He got up, kept running, was smart because nobody touched him. Finished with 163 yards rushing on 21 carries. Elijah McGuire balled as well. Matt Forte had to sit out, wasn't healthy. But guess what? You don't need him if these guys are performing the way that they're performing. If Powell and McGuire are performing like that, you roll with that and keep it moving. That's what you do. That's what you do. And Josh McCown, 22 of 31, 224 yards, nothing spectacular. But guess what? They're not beating themselves. And he's spreading the ball around. Powell had about 4 receptions, all right? McGuire had about 2 receptions. Robbie Anderson had 3 receptions for 59 yards. Austin Severian-Jenkins had about 4 receptions for 46 yards. Jeremy Curley had about 5 receptions as well. Marcus Williams had a 31-yard catch. Jermaine Kearse had 4 catches only for 17 yards, but he's spreading the ball around. So I think that's smart. I don't know why Jacksonville stopped giving Leonard Fournette the ball. Not that it was spectacular. He had 24 carries for 86 yards. But still in all, that workhorse that he is, you might want to give him the football instead of putting it in Blake Bortles' hands, 15 for 35, 140 yards. Oh, please. 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 Mike in Denver, you're live with Stephen A. Talk to me, big baby. What's up?
How you doing, man? First, I want to give thanks to the ESPN for, recognizing the stuff in Las Vegas, and then for you to start your show off like that, too. Big ups to y'all. Now I want to get into the football. Man, you think Cam Newton and the Panthers on the way back?
Well, they're 3-1. They're 3-1. And by the way, everybody that was talking about Cam Newton and he's got struggles, it seemed like he lost a little bit of his mojo. Shoulder wasn't great. His body language didn't seem great. But I got news for y'all. He's completing 65% of his passes. He's never done that in his career.
Yeah,
he's never done it in his career. And between Jonathan Stewart running the ball and Christian McCaffrey catching the ball out of the backfield with Funches and Benjamin and those boys balling, even with Greg Olsen out, they still handled their business yesterday against the Patriots. Give respect where it's due.
Yeah, he looks like he's getting his swag back. So, we're going to have to look out for them Panthers. And then one quick thing before I go, we talked about this. The Nationals coming, man.
The Washington Nationals?
They coming. Call me
when they stop playing. Call me when they stop playing.
We all
know postseason, what happens. That's why, and enjoy it while you can, because Bryce Harper ain't going to be there for long. So enjoy it while you can. Got to run, Mike. That's right. He ain't going to be there. He ain't going to be there. Enjoy it while you can. Have a ball. Thanks a lot, my man. Always good to hear from you. Tony in Seattle, you're live with Stephen A. Talk to me, Tony.
Hey, Stephen A. Love the show, man. Just want to give my thoughts and prayers out to those in Nevada and that shooting. But
of course,
pretty sure you already know what I'm up here calling for. And I love how much you love talking about your boy Jay Cutler down in Miami, man.
He's struggling,
man. They are struggling, and
well, I told y'all he's the black cat, man. Ain't no good's gonna come from you messing around with Jay Cutler. There's no good that's gonna come your way for that. It's not gonna happen.
I was a Kaepernick over Cutler guy, so I that discussion's for another day. But did you even see that play where he had that no heart with the Wildcat formation they pulled, man? That's just the show right there. What does it go to show? You got listen. This is the Dolphins, okay? You're the 28th ranked offense in passing, all right? 28th, right? You're 30th in rushing. You're dead last in points, and you're dead last in yards. You got the 8th ranked defense. You know what that tells you? This is all about the offense. And they can sit up there and point to the numbers all they want to. Jay Cutler, 66.7% completion percentage with his passes. Only two touchdowns and 2 interceptions on the season. He's a non-factor. That's what he is. Like I told y'all he was going to be. Jay Cutler is not the answer to anybody. The quarterback position is about galvanizing the troops, man. Bringing people together. Making sure to get max effort from everybody. Nobody's anxious to do that with no damn Jay Cutler. Which brings me to this question. Would you start Matt Moore next week? I mean, he seemed like more chemistry with that team.
Because Jay Cutler is still better than Matt Moore. All I'm saying is let me put it to you this way. Would I start Matt Moore? No. Would I mind him starting? No. It makes no difference. It makes no difference because Matt Moore is a backup. Jay Cutler is a starter with starter talent who might as well be a backup because he has leadership issues. He's not a leader. You ain't going to bat for Jay Cutler, man. It's not going to happen.
Man, it's been like this, so I'm not surprised.
That's right. That's right.
It's going to be a rough season.
Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. It rains a lot in Seattle, does it not?
It sure does.
Don't people call it, even though it's a beautiful city, don't people allude to it to be like the depression capital? Don't they joke around about that?
They sure do.
And there are people that are happier there than Jay Cutler is. And he in South Beach. Look, man, he's who he is. When are y'all going to accept it? Maybe you will learn someday. Don't touch Jay Cutler. Let that man go in the broadcast booth. A matter of fact, you got to be leery of that. Because if you go in the broadcast booth, remember, broadcasters are supposed to sound excited about the job they're doing. He might bring their spirit down. That's how much of a contaminating effect Jay Cutler has. What a joke. What a joke.
Back with you.
I gotta go. You ruined my afternoon calling me about Jay Cutler. Your calls to close out the show in a minute. It's Stephen A. on ESPN Radio.
Guess what? You're in the middle of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Damn it, I mean it!
Only got a few minutes left, so make your points quick and succinct. Get right to it. If you don't, I will make you. Very, very simple. D in Newark, you're live with Stephen A. Go ahead, D.
How you doing, Stephen? Big fan. Just wanted to ask you a question. I'm currently, I guess I'm boycotting the NFL. I'm not watching right now. Trying to support Kaepernick. I am a black man. Really not understanding what's going on around the league with the kneeling of the football players. I'm not watching, but I do listen just to keep up with what's going on. So
if you're gonna listen, why not watch? Now, if you sat up there and you completely stripped yourself of any NFL in your life and protest in support of Kaepernick, that's your right, and we understand that. But if you're gonna listen, then why not watch? He didn't have an answer for that question. I'm so surprised. Sabron, New Jersey, you're live with Stephen A. Real quick, go ahead.
How you doing there, Stephen A? Real fast, 2 points. I'm a huge Giants fan. I believe Ben McAdoo doesn't have a real knowledge of the run game. You know, he had the young man Smith out there blocking in preseason. You know, he makes the roster, then you cut him, and then you see Wynn out there fullback. I think his knowledge is very limited when it comes to the running game.
I got to admit to you, I'm just not sold on McAdoo. You're right. I mean, I don't know specifically if that's the reason why, but there's just something about him that doesn't tickle my fancy, per se. It just doesn't. It just doesn't.
About Odell Beckham, and then we look at him, and he doesn't treat the media right, you know, and it's just some things that I see that he's messing the Giants up. My other point is, Stephen A., you still there?
Yes, I am. I'm right here.
Tell me what you think about this. And I think you should spearhead this because there's too much talk going on. Everybody's calling up.
My man, you're running out of time. Just go ahead. Get your points, though. Go ahead. Go. Say what you got to say. Go ahead.
You need to get Kaepernick. You need to get 10 or how many mothers that you can get whose sons who have been murdered by police officers. Bring them all together with some Army officials, sit down and have a talk and rectify this whole situation so we can move on. That needs to go down. Somebody needs to spearhead that.
I got you. I appreciate the call. I wouldn't go that far. I don't think it's me. I think a lot has been done. I think everybody's aware of the issue, and I think it's more complicated than being solved by several. You think mothers whose children haven't been murdered haven't spoken out? What about Trayvon? Even though that wasn't a police officer, that was a wannabe cop in Mark Zimmerman, or Paul Zimmerman. But the bottom line is that Trayvon Martin's parents have spoken out. Other people's parents have spoken out. I don't think it's that simplistic, but I do understand your point. Appreciate the call. Let's go to Ken in L.A. You're live with Stephen A. Talk to me, Ken.
Hey, Stephen, I just want to make a quick point. I'm a Laker fan, and I think that we don't need the superstars. I don't think Magic is waiting for the superstars to.
He's waiting for one of them. No. Time. I'm not asking you. This is not a guess. I'm telling you. He wants one of them.
I think if he waits the 2 years, we're going to have those superstars. If he waits 2 or 3 years down the line, I think that we have enough.
Who?
First of all, we already have Ball. We have a new guy you don't even know. Kuzma came through. And,
I don't know Kuzma, and you think that he's going to be a superstar. Am I correct? Is that what you're trying to say?
Down the line. I'm not saying this year.
I know. I heard the 2 or 3 years. I heard the 2 or 3 year comment. I'm saying in 2 or 3 years, you think he's going to be a superstar?
I think he'll be an all-star.
Okay, let me ask you this question. You live in L.A.?
Yes.
You cool with the Lakers sticking up the joint for the next 2 years?
I don't think we are. I think we're going to win. I think we'll make the playoffs. Maybe we'll come in 7th, 8th, something like that. We'll make the playoffs, though.
Oh, so you think you make the playoffs this year? I will say, you know what? I'm not going to knock your point because based off of what you're saying you think y'all going to be a playoff team now. Now, I don't agree with you, but you think y'all going to be a playoff team now. So based on that logic, I can understand why you would say wait because you're like, we're not going to be awful. I thought you were going to say, hell with it. Let's be awful for the next 2 years. Then I would have said you smoking something. But because you think y'all going to make the playoffs now, I got to give credit where credit is due in that regard. I don't believe you, but I do understand your point. I appreciate the call, man. Ramel in the Bronx, you're live with Stephen A. Go ahead.
Two quick questions. One, do you think that being that Melo has Russell as a point guard, that he can have the same impact that Durant had last year and on their way to a first championship ring?
You think that Russell Westbrook, could he have the impact of what?
Can Melo have the same impact as Durant did last year?
No, because Melo, when Durant went to Golden State, they were fully loaded. The deck was obviously stacked, and that put them even into another stratosphere. All Melo has done is made them more competitive to go up against Golden State and San Antonio. That and Houston. That's what Melo has done for OKC, but he doesn't put them over the hump over Golden State. He doesn't do that. So, no, it's not the same impact. Thanks for the call. Okay. Kurt Lowe in Houston. You're live with Stephen A. I know I'll be hearing from you again. I knew it. What's up, man?
I never heard some of the delusional fans in my life listening to Laker fans and New York Knicks fans, man. They make me laugh every time. They are some of the worst fan bases I've ever heard. Kuzma, a superstar? What the hell are they smoking over there?
I know. Something's wrong with him. You got him there. It was a good day. This is a good day for you to call about that one.
But I wanted to say one thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I called in because today I heard Max Keller tell me that
Kellerman,
Dwayne Wade over Butler, Harden, and Klay Thompson. I ain't never. You know what? You need to ban that man from talking about the NBA for a whole week.
Whoa. I didn't hear Max say that.
He exactly said that. Remember y'all talking about Wade?
He said Wade over Harden? I didn't hear him say that. That's not true.
He did say that.
Not Harden.
I saw him get it on video.
Not Harden. Let me hear that because I'll go back and check the tape on that one because I clearly wasn't listening to him if I heard that because I didn't hear that. Wade over Harden at this point.
What he said. That was shot me and you was like, oh, cool. Well, I wouldn't take Harden over him, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
That's exactly what you said. Now, now, let me tell you something about Wade. Wade had career lows in field goal percentage, 2-point percentage, effective field goal percentage, assists per game. The man had one of the second worst points per game in the league last year. Wade and Melo careers are done. What are y'all not understanding with this?
Well, I'm not. Well, Kurt, I keep trying to tell you why you keep going off like this is a foregone conclusion. We got all year to talk to you, Kurt. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll talk to you throughout the season. I can't wait till you call back in here when Melo is slaying cats. You have been very blasphemous with your language. And you're going to pay for it throughout this NBA season, Kurt Lowe. You just wait and see. You can't hide from me, man. I know exactly where you are. But I love the calls. I love you calling in. I really, really do. Holla at y'all in 22 hours. More NFL to talk about tomorrow. Peace and love.
That's just a sample of what you'll hear on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Channel 80 and the ESPN app.